The Thunderstorm rolled into Sports Authority Field before the Denver Broncos game yesterday. The four-person parachute team gets fans excited ahead of every football game. Their aerial acrobatics make the Thunderstorm one of the most exciting pregame rituals in professional sports. It's the only one of its kind in the NFL. Dana Jacobson met the Daredevils and suited up herself to experience what makes the stunt so dangerous and invigorating. Dana, I'm so impressed. Good morning.
I'm here, so it went well, right? Good morning. A few years ago, the Denver Broncos decided they wanted to upgrade their pregame festivities. They wanted something high energy, high speed, and high drama. Now, minutes before kickoff, from a plane circling overhead, the four members of Denver's very own parachute team take flight. From a sea of darkness, they appear, 5,000 feet over downtown Denver, streaking across the night sky. Before igniting the more than 70,000 fans packed into Sports Authority Field at Mile High. They are the Thunderstorm, swooping into the stadium through a maze of crisscrossing wires at 60 miles per hour to kick off Denver Broncos home games.
This is what we do it for. This is everything for us.
Yeah. It's all about the fans, and when they're cheering, we're fired up.
The team trains an hour north at Mile High Skydiving, where the average skydiver descends with a parachute twice as big and lands at a speed 3 times slower than the Thunderstorm. What is it about skydiving?
It's total freedom. You don't worry about if you got bills to pay. It's like 60 seconds to do your job and then back to reality.
Co-founder Jimmy Tranter never considered doing anything else, even after losing his mother in a skydiving accident as a kid.
Even in the darkest moments, it was never a question to me. It was a matter of how old I had to be before I could jump.
Just something you loved that much.
I couldn't imagine not doing it.
I love swooping parachutes, I love flying parachutes, and so this demo is like the king of all demos. You know?
Allison Ray discovered her passion for flying through the air and found a mentor in Jimmy Tranter.
He's really kind of a legend in the sport. He's been around forever, 25,000+ jumps.
You're the only woman as part of this team.
Yes, the only woman to jump into the stadium at all, which is a pretty big honor for me.
And a little badass, too.
It feels like it. I hope so.
Between the four skydivers, they have nearly 50,000 jumps, a requirement to becoming a member of this elite group, usually.
So here's what we're going to do.
When it comes to jumping out of a plane, it's one thing to hear about it.
Have a good one, fellas.
But another to experience it.
Way to go.
Now, how much faster is it when you guys are going into the stadium?
Oh, twice as fast, easy. For 3 times.
Degree of difficulty with this jump, where is it in terms of the world of skydiving?
I think it's one of the top 1 or 2 for sure. This is as technical and as difficult as it gets.
This jump is complex.
Because this is where we have to turn in order to get it steep and dive it down by the stands.
But one little detail makes it perhaps the most difficult and most unique in the world.
A lot of people will look at the stadium and say it's a big, wide open field. But immediately, as soon as we add the field goal cables, add the cable cam cables coming from all 4 corners and a 50-yard line cable, you actually have to dive small parachutes through this hole here, and it's kind of like Mission Impossible style.
It's a dangerous midair dance. 4 people working together, communicating without speaking. And as far as risk, how important is it to have teamwork?
It's everything. You got to be able to trust the people that you're flying with. It is potentially extremely dangerous.
It's really like parallel parking a Ferrari at about 60 miles an hour. That's what it is every single time.
But I don't think you can actually do that, can you?
Most people do that. No, it's not in my wheelhouse, but this is, and this team has that ability.
No, they did not let me jump into the stadium.
But go you, Dana Jacobson. I get the invigorating part, but it looks so dangerous, and you didn't have a helmet on purpose?
No helmet on purpose. We're tandem here, and they are very safe. That's the one thing to remember as far as all the safety precautions you can take. But obviously, there's an inherent risk, and then even more so when you're talking about that jump into the stadium, as they showed. There are some
with all the cable. Have you ever done anything like that before?
I did. I jumped with the Golden Knights of the Army about 10 years ago. I think 2 in a lifetime is enough. I loved it. I know they find it invigorating, but I think I'm good now.
Hat tip, Dana. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Big hat tip.
You can hear more of CBS This Morning on our podcast. Find extended interviews and podcast originals on iTunes and Apple's podcast app. You're watching CBS This Morning.